If you've ever wanted to walk into a room and feel charismatic, feel confident, feel like you're connecting with other people, I believe that you can, even if you're an introvert. You see, charisma isn't something that you're born with. It's a skill that can be unlocked. Charisma is often referred to as the it factor. You know, when someone walks in the room and they can light up the room, they can just sort of connect with everyone. It seems almost effortless when you meet those people that have really high levels of charisma. But when you think about what God wants to do in your life, the impact that he wants to have in and through you and the world and the message that he has for you to get out into the world, having charisma would be an incredible skill set to have in your corner to be able to connect with other people. There's a lady by the name of Vanessa Van Edwards who's written a couple of books about charisma and social cues, and she cites a study out of Princeton that says that charisma is a blend of two particular traits. It's a blend of warmth and also the blend of competence. And it's those two things, warmth and competence, coming together that brings charisma into a situation, that brings that sort of connectedness, the understanding that people can trust you, that people believe what you're saying, but that you also are there, you love them, and you care for them. And now, just like anything else that is a skill set in life, it is a skill set that can be learned, but it does take time to develop. It's not a light switch. You can't just be like, I'm gonna be more charismatic today. You gotta learn the steps that are gonna move you in that direction. I know in my own personal life, there are still lots of times when I walk into a room and I go, man, I wish I was more charismatic in this particular situation, or I had more of that sort of energy, more of an understanding of the balance of warmth and competence that would allow me to connect with people better. But that said, I can remember a couple of instances where I had the opportunity to work with teams of people and we were kind of engaging each other over a couple of days, and I was really trying to focus and be engaged and uplifting, encouraging, and more charismatic. And when I came to the end of those times, I shared with people, we're talking about a variety of things, but I mentioned that I was an introvert. And I would get this sort of feedback, wow, I actually didn't know that. I actually didn't know that you were an introvert. And I thought that was so interesting. Not because I am not proud of being an introvert or there's any issue with being an introvert. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm an introvert. I understand that I need time on my own to recharge my batteries, to have the capacity to connect with other people. I know that about myself. But what I needed to do was I needed to be able to sort of separate the idea that I am an introvert, and because of that, I needed to recharge on my own. That doesn't actually have to impact how I can connect with other people. It doesn't impact the fact that I need to be able to be more charismatic or develop that skill set. I think some of the times those things can get married. It's like, well, I'm an introvert. I'm more of a individual person. I prefer to be on my own. So therefore, when I am with people, then it means I'm not great at connecting with them. Well, those two things are totally separate. Just because I gain my capacity on my own doesn't mean that I can't develop the skill set of connecting with other people. So here are 3 tools that I've used in my own life, and I know that you can use in your life as well to help unlock more charisma. All right, so the first tool in your toolbox is understanding how are you perceived when you're in a social setting? Like, what do people see when they see you? Because remember, when people meet you, they're asking 2 questions. One is, can I trust you? And the second one is, can you help me? I know for myself, when I'm in a social situation and if I have low capacity, I actually look quite stressed. I look very unapproachable. But it's taken me a while to learn and understand this. But when you know that, then you can do something about it. That's why for me, I know if I'm going into a social situation, I want to understand the capacity that I have. It's often a blind spot for people. So if you don't have an understanding of how you're perceived in social settings, ask people you trust, ask friends, family, people that you know that are willing to give you some honest feedback, because that's going to allow you to start from somewhere and say, hey, I can work on that, right? I can become more warm in a social setting if I know that what I'm purveying or putting out into the world isn't as warm and maybe accepting as I would like it to be. And the second tool that can help you to unlock more charisma in your life is how you see other people. John Maxwell says that when you see someone that you believe is charismatic, they actually often just have a real high focus on the value of others and the value of the people that they're connecting with. It's walking into a room and putting a 10 over top of everybody's head and recognizing the value that they are as God's creation and the purpose and the mission that they're going after and everything that's happening in their life that's so exciting that you can uplift and affirm them. Getting your eyes off of yourself and focusing on the others that you're connecting with is really going to allow you to be more charismatic, more engaged, and fully present with the people that you're looking to connect with. And the third tool in your toolbox is learning to walk into a room with confidence and competence. Now, this is one, obviously, that continues to take practice, exercise. For myself, I know I invested some time a couple of years ago in going to Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a great organization. There's probably a local chapter near you, but you can invest some time to learn how to speak, It's not just about learning to give speeches, but learning to speak and think on your feet, which is so important when we talk about charisma and connecting with other people, being able to properly respond, being able to formulate and convey your ideas clearly. I've also found when it comes to my confidence and competence that if I can mentally prepare myself more for what it is, the situation that I'm walking into, if I'm walking into a larger setting or larger group setting, I'm making sure that I've got the rest that I need before I walk into that room, that I'm mentally prepared and engaged to be engaged with other people, to have those conversations, and knowing that I'm also going to need to schedule time for myself to rest afterwards, because that's me. I'm an introvert. I'm going to need that time to recover. I need to make sure I'm going in with the capacity to have the conversations, and then also making sure I'm going to have time when I come out so that I can recover that energy, so that I can pour it back into what God wants me to pour into. I want you to walk into the room and own it. I want you to go through life living out the impact that God wants to have in and through you. And I know that unlocking the skill of charisma is going to open a lot of doors for you. Have a blessed week. We'll talk to you soon.